And now, your not so sheeple host.
Go ahead, sing it.
And now, your not so sheepish host of the Sheeple Show, John the Rock and Michael Chavez.
All right, did you get a little spike there?
Yep, little spike there. Drop the headphone down on the table. Bam!
Drop the bomb.
Got the party started.
Kick it off. So, been a while. Got one
Been
out
too
in
long.
got one out in the ether there that
Lost.
we'll never see it again or hear it again.
I'm telling you, it's saved in there somewhere. It's hiding on me. There's a few more leaves I need to overturn.
You didn't hide it where you hide your porn, like in the taxes file, did you?
No, dude. Got my own little special compartment for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good. Just throwing it out there.
It's totally
'cause
encrypted.
I would love to
Nobody
hear it.
could get in there. Not even myself. I can't even get in there. That's what
We went into a Russell Brand rant in there, and
that was a good one.
a couple
too.
other things I know, and I'm not up on it. It's kind of like I would just went through some of that knowledge and just let it go so I could fit some more stuff in. So to try to recreate any of that on the fly, I don't know. Because I think there was a whole feeling and idea behind some of the discussion I started with it.
Yeah, because
not in that place today.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Because you were basically saying that maybe Russell Brand was the Antichrist.
No, I don't think. No, that wasn't it.
I just made that up.
I know you did.
That was to totally discredit you, because you actually had this really cool idea. Well, your perception of him and what he's all about was really cool, and you'd really done a lot of research and put a lot of thought and study into it, and you broke it down so beautifully and eloquently and all this.
And now it's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah, because he is someone to follow and keep your eye on. Definitely.
Well, he's interjecting himself.
There's these telltale signs of exactly. There's these telltale signs of a spook. You know, a plant, right? And and he's so charismatic that he's pulling it off.
He's too good to be true.
He's pulling it off. And you know what? And screw the whole socialism idea that he's pushing through too. Why are you trying to label these? When anytime you put you use words like utopia, it's not possible this day and age.
No.
So when you start propagating utopia, anything, I automatically discredit you. I got to put you in somewhere else. Some other label on it goes on you now.
Yeah.
Because it's not really possible.
Well, he envisions himself as the leader of this utopia, probably.
Maybe,
he's thinking to himself, someone like me, I could sit at the top. If I was given the power and ability,
I don't want to be the leader. I don't want to be the leader, but I'm just going to set forth a linear motion of things that I want done. But I'm not the leader.
But I'm not the leader,
man.
I mean, I'm not. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just like that whole, that Peter Joseph with the Zeitgeist movement type of thing. There's a tinge of those things crossing in my mind.
Well,
because that guy is very intelligent and fairly charismatic, but a little douchey. Peter Joseph. Yeah, I've heard enough of him, and him and Jacques Fresco, the guy that basically they're kind of basically a collaboration. He's like the old man version.
Yeah.
With do you know what I'm talking about? He wanted to set up. It was called something. Jacques Fresco's thing was.
It was Jacques Fresco or Jacques Cousteau?
No, Fresco.
Oh,
that's who Peter Joseph used to be aligned with, and there's a falling out there. Basically, talking about utopian society.
Yeah.
But anyway, I guess you'd have to have that reference.
Well, I haven't done a lot of research with Zeitgeist. I've heard them I've heard them referenced a lot. I've even had my aunt, who's a conservative Christian. Asked me if I've watched it and wanted my opinion on it.
I have not watched it.
Yeah, I haven't either. I should, I guess, because it is out there.
I've seen a couple of interviews with him though, and definitely interesting guy. But it's too like Rogan had him on, and it was a great interview because very passive aggressively, Rogan's basically like, oh, a little culty. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's throwing
yeah, and he played him a good. Alex has had him on too. You've seen the interview with Alex Jones and Peter Joseph?
No, I've heard Alex.
You gotta watch him on. You gotta watch that.
I could probably YouTube that, right?
Yeah, you gotta watch that. Yeah, it's interesting because Alex being a Christian and Peter Joseph is not. So, and then Alex being such a passionate fellow,
right?
That there's some clashing and Peter Joseph's not kind of digs the talking over and the getting loud, and that's what Alex does. So it was interesting, and then to see him on Rogan too, was interesting. But Russell Brand, it just comes out of nowhere, and the whole thing with Katy Perry, MK Ultra, Blink.
Oh, you were bringing up that photo also when you were talking about Russell Brand.
Yeah, where he flashes, or there's video of him.
It's like a belt buckle or something.
No, it's not a belt buckle.
Right?
It's like a it's not a
pendant.
It's almost like one of those little metal keychain type thing, but and it just said obey. Yeah, but it had a circle with a 6-pointed star inside it.
And you're saying that
it was
the meme that's out there is that he flashes this to her. She looks at it, instantly becomes mesmerized,
or just like, whatever her programming is, kicks back in because she seems to be disobeying. However she's being told to act on the red carpet with Russell,
like a Manchurian candidate.
Exactly,
he's the handler.
Exactly, with the whole.
You could totally see him being a hand. I mean, I would guarantee. Boy, we are being slanderous of him, dude.
No, we're not. No, I don't
it's
think
our
we
opinion,
are.
man.
I don't,
we don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
But see,
I
don't have a full opinion of him yet.
And also, I'm stating something. I'm stating something.
Very charismatic.
That is a video, a posted video. You can watch it yourself.
Yeah,
I'm not slandering whatsoever.
It is very interesting.
And it's nothing that people aren't already throwing out there either. We're not talking about anything new. Just maybe not. It's not that known. It's pretty.
Because her reaction. See, when you first told me that, I had my doubts instantly.
Yeah, I made you watch it.
Oh, come on. You know what I mean? But then you made me watch it. You showed me the YouTube video. And it is odd, to say the least. But then her reaction in the interview, where she basically, almost like a robot, very robotic, says something to the effect, he's so funny, he's so amazing to be around.
Sorry, I didn't mean.
No, say it, because you probably remember.
She said something. I can't say what she said verbatim. Don't put quotes on it, but it was something along the lines of, she was admitting that she was acting out of sort and that she's usually the bubbly one, and so she admitted, verbally that something was different, and then once that's flashed, that metal, whatever it is, it's just like I don't want to call it a token. It wasn't round, but it's just some kind of little, it probably has a name. It probably has a name that we don't know. You know what I mean? And a lot of handlers are going to have. There's some kind of verbal cue. They say the same thing with, what is it, Sir in the shot? RFK, Robert Kennedy, wasn't it?
Yes.
Was that him? Yeah. There was supposedly something that set him off was a polka dot dress. So.
I can't remember exactly.
And there could have been something with Oswald. There's these, when you do mind programming, you supposedly they're like a trigger or something that initiates a certain behavior there's different things that can initiate different behaviors from the recipient of the
some
mind
type
programming.
of cue.
Yes, exactly, a cue. Yeah.
That stuff's so interesting to me, that mind control and the whole idea of a Manchurian candidate, and
it's almost templated when you see it with
where they had learned. The Nazis really were the first ones, right?
Yeah, but who knows how far it goes back in history?
Oh, I'm sure it goes
back
forever.
but as far as
in recent time that we have some,
so we're not trying to make it too complicated.
Right, historical.
It started off, exactly. It was, and Hitler did it with a radio.
And
got
they
a
learned how to
nation.
take the brain. You know, you really need to just look at the brain as a computer because that's the easiest
the whole
way
body
to
is,
comprehend or understand.
The brain's the microprocessor of our computer.
And they learned how to, the exact time in a human when they're most vulnerable, the age group, which is usually under the age of 5 years old, how to begin fracturing the mind, going into a certain part of the mind through sleep deprivation.
They do the same thing in the military. What do you think boot camp is?
Oh, absolutely. They do. They break them down, but I mean at an insane rate where they get to the point where they're like literally, according to some people that have been through this, you know, I don't know. They've written books. They've been interviewed where they talk about being put in cages when they're like 4 years old and put in a cage with like a boa constrictor and actually battling, you know, having memories, memories of like physically wrestling with this boa constrictor. I mean, that sounds too insane to be true, but
it's not though. It just all of TV was hijacked. It was supposed to be the original internet, where it was going to be open source. It was meant to be open source, and it got hijacked for the programming, with the potential for a mind programming tool.
Well, that's why TV's
is called programming.
Exactly. Yeah,
but it was meant to be open source.
Exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're programming you.
Yeah, and there's things to do with the flicker rate, the colors that are used. Like it goes so deep that it's all subconscious. It's all done subconsciously. You know.
Reprogramming portions of your mind.
The only way you don't fall to it is if you're in the know. And there's, if you want to get real rabbit holey, there's, just a couple dozen handfuls of people on Earth, supposedly.
That are in the know and know what to avoid and where not to go and what not to eat and what air not to breathe and where not to be at certain times. And that is so, like, unbelievable, isn't it? To think that there's just like a handful of people that
can have so much power. Yeah, it's power is nothing but corruption. We're not meant to have a lot of power, and this is exactly where you see where the mind programming in Hollywood can be sustained. You know what I mean? That you get broke down and then built up to such a height. That's a whole different person than what it would have been. Yeah.
And now there's that one actor, he's coming out and saying that basically almost everybody that's in movies is in a position out there of fame. Most of them have been abused in some sort or another.
Corey Haim came out.
Yeah,
very interesting. Him coming out and all this, and he's
telling
the truth.
Corey Feldman.
Corey Haim died, yes.
Yeah, his partner was Feldman. And he said that's why Haim was so messed up is because he couldn't handle the fact that he was being sexually molested.
Yeah.
I mean, that Corey Feldman's coming out now. And I mean, Oprah, wasn't she the one that interviewed him?
No, he was on The View. I seen it on
The View.
I haven't run across it. I don't watch The View, but he was on there and I was like, I was always a fan of his. And I've seen something, to him doing the same sort of thing where he's been trying, coming out, and he just finally now has hit a mainstream, ABC talk show. But he's talked about it. But he's been talking about it for a while now because I seen him on another.
I mean, you've always heard the line, the casting couch, It's where all these young women and men, unfortunately, have had supposedly.
That's what Katy Perry says, that she sold herself to the devil. So because that's basically, I think, to get to a certain height, you have to do.
You can YouTube that. She did say that.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
An interview.
Yeah, that's why I said it like that, because I know that you can hear it. I've seen, I've heard it myself.
She says, I wanted to be the next Amy Grant, the next Christian star. I wanted to be the next Amy Grant, and it didn't work out, so I sold my soul to the devil.
Yep, and her dad didn't want anything.
That's the exact quote right there, man. And it's like, what? Did you really just say that?
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm always trying lightly to not sound like too crazy for some, but it's kind of like, excuse me, but fuck it. You know what I mean? You just gotta say it how you see it, and not try to put too much on people because it sounds crazy, but yet at the same time, if you're backing just these little things up, and it's hard to say that you can draw a conclusion about something or an idea or a person with just a few pieces of evidence. But I mean, come on, everybody can see how twisted this American culture has become.
And what if every stinking bit of it that's on that programming device, that's, what you can tune into whatever frequency you want, whatever little piece of software you want to download into your brain, you can tune right into it.
Yep.
To each their own.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And what if every stinking bit of it was just a play, a magic trick, a spell to destroy you, to lead you down the wrong road, to give you bad ideas, to give you bad advice,
because
to give you the wrong ideas.
I believe in there's a collective of this. You will just simplify. There's good energy and there's bad energy. That's why you get around certain people that are just always downtrodden and negative. That shit, it leaches onto you. Other people's baggage, their emotional baggage, just their, be hippie about it. And it's like the aura, of somebody, if you want to call it that. Or if you, because it's proven, you surround yourself with positive people.
Oh, I see that in my own personal, absolutely.
Yeah. If you're in tune, anybody can you can tell.
Yeah.
And so I think that either of those can be drawn on and given more power to.
Definitely. There's a lot of, some of the older cultures, especially the Asian cultures, it seems, they develop different ways via yoga or whatever. Even some of their martial arts are all tuned into like the chakras, right, and all that stuff.
Well, one thing about that I know about Japan, I haven't been there, but it, everybody knows how crowded Tokyo is, and like there's a lot of like bumping into and stuff like that, being on top of each other, but it's not to be taken rudely. You did it here, you know what I mean? You might get punched. You keep bumping in the same dude in line at that store or something, and it's not like that. They're very polite, and it's just kind of like they're just very tolerant of each other. And it's either we have a major intolerance going on in this country.
Oh yeah, definitely.
As right, so to many things, there's a reason there. There's
we got enough room. Over there, they've got ample excuse. They've got how many millions of people
saying.
living
Their
in,
behavior,
you know what I mean?
Accounts that I've heard from people that have been there say how different that's a big difference that they noticed was how polite, how crowded and everything, but how polite everybody is versus here. Exactly, we have all the room and there's a lot of intolerance to each other.
Well, dude,
because you have the road rage, and you could go on and on about the intolerance, but not to be pessimistic.
Even in New York where it's overly crowded, from my perspective anyway, because I've never had to live that way. So just by, looking at it from afar, it seems like, to me, uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But even looking at that, even the sidewalks there are wide enough, and people, the way they handle their business is everybody's certainly spaced out with probably a 6 to 8 inch bubble around them. But over in Japan, you're saying that it's okay for a dude to like basically be stepping on your heels and putting a schwanz up your bung when you're walking or waiting to get on the
pretty much
subway.
Yeah.
You might actually like that then. You might.
Not as much as you. It was your thought, so it's pretty strong with you.
Hey, you're not supposed to be giving away my trade secrets now.
Yeah. You come at me with the accusatory.
Now everybody knows. The whole freaking world. All 5 of them. They know now.
Gonna need a leak break in a little bit.
Oh, man.
I know.
Your colostomy bag's full already, dude.
Yeah. Well, if it was that, I would just empty it on your floor for the condo.
I heard it sloshing around over there.
I've drank a few cups of coffee now and water. That caffeine.
We can go to a commercial break. This is
because
where
I got something I'm gonna pick up on the other side.
Is there something I can? Are you giving me permission on this to insert an actual commercial?
What do you got to plug?
Oh, I've got plenty to plug.
Well, other than your boyfriend, I mean.
Whatever. until we meet on the other side.
Hey, in the words of Chuck Woolery, we'll be back in 2 and 2.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, I did it.
You got old school. Okay, and we're back from our break on this Black Friday. Whack Friday.
Whack Friday. Because of all the whack shopping that happens.
All the brawling that has taken place. People getting in brawls, beating the crap out of each other, shooting each other, literally shooting each other in the parking lot over parking spots.
To go be a consumer.
A flash mob formed at a Walmart. Was videotaped and uploaded onto YouTube by many cell phone holders. As the police are in the background standing by, laughing, watching these people literally pummel each other over I don't even know what it was. It was a TV or something, dude. It was something electronic. There was only so many of them. And like cows, dude, or bulls, they moved the barrier and they all flew in there headlong. 100 miles an hour, bull rushing each other, beating the crap out of each other.
Yeah, that's great to go shopping for Christmas.
Get in the spirit, buddy.
Yep. That is a Whack Friday.
Consumerism. The plague.
Yeah. Consumerism. That all engulfing soulless pit of consumerism.
Screw the Black Plague, dude. It came in the middle of the night. You got a fever. You coughed yourself to death. See ya. 7 days of agony. The consumerism plague, it slowly eats at you, dude. And over a 10 to 15 year span, you get further in debt and get fatter and fatter and sloppier.
Yeah. And possibly go through a marriage or two.
Just that consumes you and you become something that you're not. You literally become a walking, talking zombie. Zombioid.
There's a zombie factor to consumerism.
Definitely.
Totally, yeah.
Show Shiny Penny, come over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, they dangle something there for you and then you go get it.
I've always been fascinated by people that receive transplants and the memory transfer that happens from the donor to the recipient, whether it be you can crave foods that your donor craved in life, and it goes deeper than that. To supposedly a guy got a heart from a suicide victim, and he marries the donor's widow and kills himself on the same day. Now, it sounds like one of those urban legend things, and it probably most likely is. I don't have...
but still, there's science behind the actual...
There's science behind the actual memory transfer, so it makes it plausible in your brain that, that it could go that far, because there are stories far and wide on this, if you just look into it. So what's your thought on that, Mike?
I haven't done a lot of research on it.
Paid any mind to it?
No, I mean, I've paid mind to it. I've heard people bring it up, talk about it. It does intrigue me, but I haven't really studied it or looked into it. But,
I haven't.
I think that it makes sense to me. I believe in cellular memory. I believe that we were handed things down.
Definitely.
From our forefathers, certain traits, strengths, weaknesses.
Being naturally afraid of things.
Absolutely.
Because we were prey.
So when you have that in mind, you have that belief. I believe there's a lot to that. If you grasp it, you actually see how your life, who you are, how important it truly is. It goes beyond just you and your short 77-year stint here in this reality. You're handing things down. You need to better yourself so you can better the next one.
Yeah.
If we ever plan on jumping off of this rock and
Yeah,
making an adventure out of this universe.
Making a lineage of good karma.
Absolutely, we need to start thinking big, man.
Yeah,
every one of us, all of us.
Yeah, because the idea of change is always daunting because one person can't change the world, they say. But if you just start with yourself, and if everybody just start with themselves, and that's how we move forward.
Well, like
as a race.
Absolutely, like back in the day, the rock stars of old were the Platos and the Socrates and the Michelangelos and
revolutionary
the Galileos
figures,
and
not.
You were loved and adorned for your mind and your ideas and
not what this celebrity these things that we get these people that we put on pedestals.
Well, the television is for us not to recognize that in ourselves.
Yeah,
it's for us to doubt it.
Yeah, like it hides ingrained knowledge. You know, it's in all of us, I think.
Absolutely.
But then it gets built on if you like layer cake, you know, it just gets layer after layer after layer after layer of falsity in all different aspects, and then it's hard to unwind it all to start to see things for how they are.
We've become so mistrusting, and for good reason. The guys I work with, the people that are around me in my life, there's so much little, you know, even on a personal level, you see all this little scamming and trying to get one over, even if it's little things, just trying to get that one little thing over on that next guy.
Shaking bacon.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because, hey, if I can get one over on this guy, I might be able to move up the chain maybe. Yeah. I might be able to get one more hour overtime. I might be able... You know, and I think it's like a disease that plagues us.
Yeah, it is. It's a state of mind.
It's a virus in the program that needs to be abolished. And the only way to do it is through awareness. There's not going to be some guy that's going to come in and deprogram us.
Yeah.
We're going to have to understand that this is a plague, that we have been lied to, deceived, manipulated, purposely changed. Chains have been laid across us, and most of us don't even recognize it. We're becoming serious sheeple here, man. We need to snap on out of it. And quick.
And big things gotta change. There's some key big things, you know, as religion's one.
As Prometheus, the movie, the trailer, that little cyborg guy, his one-liner, where he says, all big things have small beginnings.
Yeah, there you go. Well, religion is quite a big thing, so that is holding us back, and it was put in place to hold us back from my point of view, opinion, also rather just my opinion, but I think it's just been in place to hold us back. Where you know it was a catalyst through which power could be asserted more easily.
To me, when you look at, you know, I'm not religious, but I do have my beliefs.
Yeah.
And they're stern. They're unwavering because I've had experiences. But I don't pretend to understand fully because I haven't studied other religions. But I know that the one religion that I have studied, that I believe in, makes a lot of sense. The Old Testament breaks down, nowadays the big thing is ancient aliens. You know what I mean? That there was this high-tech civilization going on. And you've got the scientific community that's balking at that. You've got the alien guys and some geologists and archaeologists and scientists that are on that bandwagon that believe some type of alien, ancient alien.
It must have existed, yeah.
Right. And if you read the Old Testament, it talks all about it. It doesn't get in
Yeah.
great detail, but the books that were taken out do.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
book of Enoch
Yep.
and stuff like that.
Well, there's seven. What about Mary Magdalene being Jesus' successor? Too, because there's the book of Mary Magdalene. I haven't read it, and it's so shame on me. For
Well, he
bringing it
just
up
shared
if
things.
had.
I read it. He shared a lot with her that was like, it'll blow your mind. Like it's a must read for really anybody. Because the things that Jesus shared, because she asked the
The
questions.
historical, relevant. Or,
Yeah, he breaks down like the vastness of the
Significance of
universe
it.
and time, and how time's just to constrain a man and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. Time and money are both.
Mm-hmm. It's a chain.
Yeah.
But then it just goes on. It has the Old Testament's like, we already talked about that in one of our first podcasts.
Well, what enlightened beings we could be without those chains.
Yeah.
Or that were meant to be.
The Old Testament's basically just a big DNA battle. And the New Testament's more of like how you should act and walk and talk. And then that's where Jesus was on the earth. And then after him, it's like his disciples going out, and the rest of the Bible is basically them telling stories about trying to get the message of what he taught them out to everybody around the world, and traveling out and spreading it to as many people as they could. And the trials and tribulations they go through, and what ends up happening to them and stuff. And
But don't you think you can be called a Christian without being religious? Because I don't.
yeah, because religion
don't
is a
think-
stigma. It's a stereotype. It's a stamp. It's a brushstroke that's pretty wide.
Because that's how I feel. They're not mutually exclusive. They don't go hand in hand.
No, they do not.
So, but then lies the problem of the indoctrined ones. And then you have this infighting. I mean, because there's all these different religions under Christianity, and it's been just used as a tool for war throughout the ages.
It's the whole key is that just read them. If you're curious, read them. Most Christians, that's what's sad, is that most Christians that call themselves a Christian, I would say probably 90% of them have not even read the book, in which their whole
That's a very
basis of life is supposed to represent and be about. How in the world can you claim to be something
then that's
that some other man has taught you or told you that you are to be? Sad. If that ain't a sheeple. If I'm supposed to walk a certain way and talk a certain way and change my whole lifestyle and try to keep myself
well, there's also what
certain...
you inherently know to be as you're raised also. So you have your nature versus nurture included
Right.
in that. That's just your spirit, that's different from spiritual belief. I mean, because there's plenty of good atheists out there. They don't believe that a higher power exists at
Jesse
all.
Ventura.
And they're awesome people.
Jesse
And they're
Ventura,
kind
dude, I
and
love him.
There's a lot of them out there that I like too. That
I don't
they're
ju-
atheists and yeah, exactly.
Because when I read that Bible, dude, there was one thing that stood out to me besides the craziness of the
And
Old
it's not-
Testament
it's
and
not
how it's
judging.
like the Lord of the Rings.
not judging anybody.
It's not judging, not judging, not judging, not judging.
Yep.
Later on in the Bible, it does speak about something about the elect judging others or something, but I haven't really studied that or that part, those particular parts. Didn't stand out to me enough where I remembered it.
We're
really.
starting to get deep in the Bible drawer.
Yeah. Well, just interesting how.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
It's not there isn't anything behind that.
No. Yeah, because when you talk about cellular memory, when you talk about transplant memory, you start getting into something that goes beyond the physical.
Yeah, not only a physiological thing, or but also a spiritual thing, because
Definitely.
you're supposed to, if you, what am I gonna say, have a linear motion to getting to a higher self, if you will, or closer to God, or just boy. really dropped off in that one just now. But a more enlightened, person.
It's
being.
What I love about stuff like that is that what better way to spread the reality from my world perspective of something being out there beyond this physical existence. I believe that there is something there. This is a matrix type reality, and the reality of what the reality really is, your eternal being, the part of you, your consciousness, those thoughts, that is who you truly are.
Yeah.
That goes on forever.
That's your core.
This meat bag is an experience.
Yeah.
And that's what I think so neat about that topic, transplant memories. That someone else's heart, their cells, something that was in them,
retains them, core fibers,
retains ideas and memories and experiences that even when it's taken out and put into another through modern medicine, those memories, those experiences, those ideas start to become intertwined in who you are, the fabric of you.
Yep.
And that is so profound to me on so many different levels. I mean, just from the perspective that, to me, that represents the spiritual. Things like
the
that.
Part that it won't be explained by science.
That's right. Science is looking at this phenomenon to them, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Looking at it, and to me, all roads lead to the same place unless you choose to close your eyes.
Yeah, and most scientists, sorry.
Go ahead. No, do it. Say it.
Most scientists are faithless also.
Absolutely.
So you can only go so much on science. I love science and history, my two favorite things. Not great at math. I love science and history.
Mine too. I would say those are my two favorite
I love
too.
them. And call me a nerd because that's the kind of stuff I like to put around, or that I engage myself in my free time.
Right.
Those things.
You get about 2 hours a week free time? Is that what it averages out to?
Yeah, a few maybe. I mean, it's not much, and it's so scattered that it's not always.
Isn't it sad?
It's not always
Just
spent. Yeah, I'd like to be so much smarter than I am, but I just don't got time.
Oh.
If I could read everything I wanted to read, or at least then there goes the battle of retaining it. Also,
I often tell people that if I spent half the amount of time studying, reading, and learning my history, my science, and reality around me as I did masturbating, I would be a freaking genius, dude. You know what I'm saying? I would be so much higher up on the food chain.
Yeah, but you know what? How much more aggro would you be though?
What do you mean?
If you go around punching people and they looked at your old lady wrong.
Think so?
Yeah, you gotta let those hormones flow.
So you think it's like a steam pipe? You gotta release the pressure.
Yeah, pretty much that is it. That is the way it works.
Oh,
so
I don't know. It could be,
but I can't even wrap my head around how crazy that is with the memory transfer, and it's obviously a very old idea and knowledge that we have. That probably, I mean, they're putting fancy words on it, but they're not giving total explanations for either, because there isn't one, which goes with our thought of, or our feeling, belief that that's where spirituality comes into this meat bag computer. The whole body is a computer.
It animates
supercomputer, yeah, and the consciousness goes on.
Our spirit, our soul animates this meat bag. You take it out and it just flops, falls on the ground, motionless.
Because you have that, and what else is ingrained that goes along with this is past life experiences.
Yeah, those I don't believe in that.
Yeah, I'm not sure I do either.
I believe that those particular people, I believe that people can actually have memories of others. Absolutely, because it goes right into my cellular memory, transplant memory, how that all goes back to the Matrix idea
Yeah.
And it's so, yeah.
What about, just different things? There's a memory. The universe is a memory. It's a big just database, and things can be pulled out from it. There's different ways to pull out the information of the universe. And that just, I didn't verbalize that the way that I wanted to. I was having trouble, but there's a bigger idea behind it that any being can pull out information.
Definitely.
Or just be descended upon them also.
Yeah, I believe that we probably even at some point could communicate.
Telepathically?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I believe that there's more to us than just this physical.
Well, that's what I say communication is. I don't remember the percentage now, but body language is significantly higher than what the actual words that are coming out of our mouth. And we pick up on these cues subconsciously.
And that's where like the Twitter and the Facebook, how so many people are misunderstood.
What do you do with the texting with your spouse? Sometimes you're double questioning yourself. What does she mean by that? And it's probably a simple ass statement.
Yes.
But because you just can't hear that inflection in the voice. Yeah. And it's so impersonal. I can't stand. I know Facebook has some decent uses, but I can't stand it.
Well, I created
all
one.
I see is BS.
Yep, I created one as a joke. Actually even put my head on like some huge big muscle champion guy, you know what I mean? That, like,
some weightlifter?
Yeah. That was my profile picture. And then I got befriended by a girl that I went to high school with. And I felt stupid for having this fake picture up because I didn't want everybody or anybody that's seen that thinking that that's really what I was trying to represent.
Yeah, big meathead.
Yeah, so this fake account.
Why not? That makes it even funnier. I mean, if it was a joke, you should have followed it through.
I know. I did actually follow through for a while. And then I ended up accumulating a few more friends. Next thing you know, I have like 15 or 20 friends like within a week, dude. Because that Facebook, it like communicates with other
links,
people.
Yeah. I don't use it, but I can see like
it creates this huge grid, man, of information.
There's like a sidebar of people that you don't know, but know through so many different people removed.
Because when you fill it out, you put, I graduated from such and such high school.
Yeah, automatically links it.
It automatically puts you in the grid, and it starts informing people, hey, you might know this guy.
Yep, and that's what's weird about how the internet works like that, and that's the social media way that it works. But it also, like, if you Google search something and I Google search the same thing, different results are going to come up. Yeah,
based on our
exactly. Yeah, and do you know anything about like the dark web? Because there's multiple internets.
Well, yeah, there's layer upon layer.
Yeah,
different little grids you can go down.
And just the propagation tool is the mainstream internet now, because you're gonna have the mainstream internet just like you have mainstream TV, and then you have alternative stuff.
Like what you were saying, for example, is if you Googled chemtrail, you would get some mainstream debunk BS.
Possibly, but
you would also get alternative theory and idea, and what me and you would look more at is reality.
Yeah.
Now, if my grandmother Googled chemtrail, all she would get is the debunked BS mainstream
and just
theory.
throwing it down no matter what it is. Yeah, you're just using chemtrails as an
example. She'd have to go all the way down and click next page before she started maybe stumbling across it.
Yeah, and then you get thrown so much. You search something and so many options come up for you to click on that it's just overwhelming.
And people know this is what's going on. We're starting to wake up to the reality of even this type of censoring. They're automatically, cattling you. They're putting you in your own little ranch. You know what I mean? This is your little fenced-in area. This is so-and-so's little fenced-in area.
That's a great analogy.
That's why it's really important when we communicate with people that we don't just say, and me and you have been guilty of it on this podcast already. We say, listen, Google this. Mm-hmm. Really, you have to be more specific, because just Googling something doesn't mean it's going to come up for you to read about or understand from that certain perspective or whatever. But anyway, What ranch are you in? What cattle farm you in? Are you Angus or?
It's ever moving. Maybe, I don't know. No labels.
But we know one thing for sure. You ain't no sheeple. Biatch. Give me some, baby. Give me a high five. No.
Oh.
Good. There we go. Oh, that first one was so white boy, dude.
Oh.
Wasn't it? It was like, you got your thumb right on my pinky where we like...
We might as well have missed each other in the forehead. Might as well have missed.
That was funny, dude.
Yeah.
That's where when we do like Skype video, that will get a laugh, possibly.
Yeah, no one wants to see these mugs, though.
Oh, are you kidding me,
dude? We might want to keep it audio.
Yeah, but dude, I love to show off.
Some video?
Well, yeah, I like to show off a little bit because I'm not wearing the hat when we do the Skype. Because I want to show everybody the new hairstyle for 2014. The way back. The way back.
Are you just growing the back of your hair? I'm going to put in a little...
Yeah, with the hair,
it
don't start until way back.
The Jesse Ventura ponytail?
That's basically what my hair would be if I grew it out.
You should do the Jesse Ventura ponytail. You could possibly, look like a community college psychology professor.
I could.
Philosophy.
Community college.
Philosophy.
I like that. Corduroy brown jacket that the old man gave me, suit jacket.
Yep. Dude, you need an Argyle tie.
Oh. Those kind of guys, though, I respect. You know what I mean? I can see him. I see him walking down the sidewalk. I run into him here and there at the store. That guy, when you look at his style, he ain't got one. But you look at him and this dude's he's a walking brain, man. He's a brain with two legs, dude. I can respect it. The style, the combing the hair.
Did you know that a fart goes 10 feet a second? So the moment you fart, nobody can basically run away fast enough.
No, dude, that's some serious PSI.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
That really is.
Yeah, and
that literally will blow your hair back.
That's
dude.
faster than the sneeze. You think sneezes are hard? They're like 8 feet a second.
Wow.
So if a fart's 10 feet a second.
Well, to see that in graphic form, have you ever heard of Mr. Methane?
Yes. He sings. See, Drew and Mike used to have him on a lot.
You put a spandex full bodysuit on, lay on your back, grab underneath your knees, pull your knees back, grab the baby powder, dump it all over your butthole.
Just a pile of powder on your tank.
Push one out and just this explosion, dude. It's so immature, but dude, it's revealing.
Yeah.
When you see that baby powder go flying like freaking Mount St. Helens went off, it's like, wow.
Yeah, like Vesuvius.
It literally would blow your hair back if you put your face right there.
Yeah. They say if you burn off the methane if you light it. Have you ever seen a lit fart? So
yes. Mr. Methane.
The thing is,
he lights them.
you light them. You light them in the tent when you're camping for the light show. And so you don't stink out your mate.
Now, when you think...
But you're kind of attracted to that butt smell, so...
Oh, absolutely, dude.
It probably don't bother you.
I'm like an old hound dog. As soon as someone comes
in the house... Get you some!
As soon as someone comes in the house, first thing I do is I do one little complete circle around them, and I stick my nose firmly in between them butt cheeks. I just gotta give me a little whiff, just a little. Where is this
That was a
dude?
powerful brownie.
Oh,
powerful
man.
Brownies.
Yeah, I wish.
No, we're just a couple dumbasses that like to think that we got something to say.
Well, we do. We've been saying a lot.
Yeah, I know.
Does that even make sense? No! But we've been saying a lot, man.
Not meant to say a movement. I heard a comedian recently say something really funny. That he said he was ripping on somebody like a podcast that everybody's got one, but nobody wants to hear it.
Yeah.
It's It's so easy to do that once they're happening that you're just like boom, it's a major explosion. How the exponential rate that things grow in this day. Because you don't need any. All you need is everybody already has what you need to do it. Most people have a computer. Or a smartphone, or, so it doesn't take anything.
When we look back at this era that we're living in right now, it's going to be like the they'll label it as something like the
Wild West of the technological era.
the decade or the century of the individual, because we have like so enclosed ourselves through technology where you don't need a best friend anymore. You got your TV that's going to talk to you. It's going to tell you everything you want to know about any sport or whatever. Watch a good movie. When you're not doing that, you can open up your laptop. You can see what's going on all around the world 24/7, interesting things. You really start segmenting yourself.
There's too much.
Yeah,
that's
it's
why
almost
it's so
overload.
hard. It is, because that's why it's so hard to go into depth about certain things that I see, because there's just only so much room.
Because you're
and
getting so much
things
input
interesting.
and you're not experiencing enough output, dude.
Yeah.
And you see that with the youth. We've talked about this with the cell phones, the smartphones. I mean, 4 or 5 people sitting at a table at a restaurant, they all used to laugh, say cheers, slap their glasses together, tell a few lies, get each other giggling, la 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 la. Now they're all peeking at their cell phone 24/7, seeing if the one guy that's not there, here they got all their family or friends right in front of their very face, but they want to communicate with the guy that's not there.
Mm-hmm.
Got to check their phone because maybe that guy, gal, whoever ain't here, might be texting me. It doesn't even make sense if you really think about it.
No, don't. It doesn't make any sense.
You know, the only time you'll ever see me peeking at my smartphone when I'm with people is if I'm in a fantasy baseball or football game, and it's because I got money on the line. Okay, I ain't gonna lie. I'm a little bit competitive that way. And I'm gonna get on there and I'm gonna say, okay, it's 4:00. I know that football game's over right about now. I see if my running back. I see if I took the lead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's when you'll see me peek at it. But I keep that phone far away from me. I'm very old school. There used to be a time when you called somebody and they didn't answer the phone. There was no voicemail. If you called somebody, if you called Mikey's house and the phone rang and he didn't answer it, he didn't have caller ID. He wasn't avoiding you on purpose.
Yeah.
You call and that phone rang. If
There's
I didn't
consequences
answer it,
to
in
every...
your mind, that's right. In your mind, you say, man, Mikey's busy. You know what I mean? If you called a lot and I didn't answer, you'd say, that boy keeps himself busy, man. He's a busy dude. But nowadays, because of technology, with the caller ID, which forces you to answer even if you don't want to, because you don't want people getting the wrong impression. It's small enough you can carry the damn thing in your pocket everywhere you go if you want.
And then you're expected to have it.
It becomes a freaking chain, man. That's the way I look at it.
There's someone that calls my wife that, and if it doesn't get answered, it's like, where were you?
That's
and
right.
Like,
what are you avoiding me?
No,
I am watching a movie. I'm not going to stop it and talk for the next 20 minutes.
I'm playing with my child.
I'm playing a game of chess. I'm playing with my child. I'm outside raking the leaves. I'm mowing the lawn. I'm cleaning my garage. I'm dancing with myself in the mirror. Whatever it may be.
Take a look at the man in the mirror.
Yeah, dude. Oh, I hate that. You know?
Yeah, it obviously touched upon something you...
I get a little violent there, didn't I? I was about ready to flip this table, man. Ooh.
Your theme of the show could be aggro if you keep progressing. Be that aggro male.
Oh, what do you expect? It's Whack Friday, man.
Whack Friday.
Dude, there's millions upon millions of people scammering around right now, putting herself in more debt because they might have got $5 off that iPod, man.
Or they're going to see something they didn't know they needed.
It's just, some people just love the entertainment of it all.
I don't really need that, but that sale, I just can't pass it up.
That's right. They're doing themselves a favor, spending that extra
Yep,
$20
I eventually would have
bought
bought one of these anyway.
That's right.
And then I'm going to go and get all pissed off everybody around me because we're all stuck in this line that's an hour long. It's the same old stupid fucking story. It's got nothing different.
It's such a detachment from reality.
Yeah.
I got thrown back into reality unwillingly 2 weeks ago. Power out 4 days.
Yeah. No power is, you're back in Stone Age with modern shell around your head.
And it's cold where we live this time of year.
Yeah. Freezing.
You know, I think it was like every day was about virtually the same. It was like 40, 42 degrees.
What, in the house?
Outside.
Wasn't it more like in the 30s and
at
20s?
At night it got below freezing, yes. But thank God my buddy brought the generator over and we got to fire up that furnace. I got to put that programmer on.
Yeah.
Do me some more programming.
Yeah, we don't need a fridge. Let's have TV or fridge. You got to pick one. You got your furnace.
Yeah.
But you only got room to run the TV or the fridge. Well, guess what? I guess the food's going.
Hey, dude. Exactly, dude.
I can always
Get
order
carry out
out.
every day.
Yeah, I can
Yep.
get carry
Yep.
out. Shit.
Oh.
Oh, man. You know, have you ever seen some of Nietzsche's quotes? You know, the philosopher Nietzsche?
Yes.
Like, hard to follow. I'm totally new to him. I've always heard the name, but I love philosophy. Like, most of his stuff, I must be stupid because I got to think about him real hard sometimes. You ever read any of his quotes?
Yes. They say he's the ultimate plagiarizer.
Do they?
No, I went through I've come across some of his stuff and I've read, a lot of his quotes, and a lot of it I had heard in a different way or form by others.
Mm-hmm.
I had heard or read it in Proverbs, in the book of Proverbs in the Bible, and Proverbs mainly, book of knowledge. But yeah, he's a pretty interesting guy. Very intelligent, obviously. But
Yeah.
has a pretty comes from a different, he has a pretty
Different
dark
time era
path.
for one thing.
Huh?
Different time era for one thing.
Yeah. I believe he throws a lot of anti-God type stuff out
Yeah.
there. And
Yeah, the philosopher that is trying to elevate his own mind to godlike, or their understanding of the world is that of being better than a god, or there can't be a god. I don't know.
well,
Totally rambling there. That I want.
well, no, back in that was the era, what I talked about earlier. That was the era where a guy like him,
Yeah, heretic.
that was so well versed though in studying, different books of knowledge and reading and coming across that stuff and having the comprehension and understanding to understand all the different parables,
Mm-hmm.
and then be able to come up with his own based off all that knowledge. He was like a rock star.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was
Yeah.
getting any chick he wanted to, dude.
Yeah. Oh, and just like Isaac Newton was what I was thinking about earlier, and I couldn't think of Isaac. They did the same thing, with Isaac Newton.
These guys were the rock stars of their time. They were getting any chick they wanted to. They were being put up on the podium. There may be
Like,
hundreds of there might be hundreds of Nietzsche's roaming around right now that are in a dirty flannel and some blown out jogging pants, sitting in mama's basement with a laptop in front of them, being made fun of, and nobody will ever know he existed. Because he's just a freaking nerd, man. Don't talk to that guy, dude. He's got all like these parables and stuff, and I don't even know what the hell he's talking about, man. He's so uncool. So what are you doing there?
I was just
Doing a little
trying to
studying?
rummage up a little idea. So, what do you think about the whole everybody but people truly from the continent of Africa only having Neanderthal DNA, and the Africans not having any? I know we touched upon this, but it's something that maybe could explore a little more.
Yeah, let's put it this way. It wouldn't surprise me. Because if I've learned one thing or anything from the time and era we live in now, is that everything I've been taught is ass backwards. And there's definitely been a considerable amount of information and study and time frame in our recent history to show that there's been an absolute force of people trying to eliminate the African race.
Yeah.
Does that, does that oversimplify it to a certain degree? Yes. But there's definitely, like, I look at things like this, for example. This rock we live on is so far from the sun that we go around. And I know that my skin, which is of a certain complexion, burns.
Yep.
If I stand out in the sun with my shirt off for 4 or 5 hours. But then you look at the Africans that have darker pigment, their skin's way more adapted to the environment of how far this earth is away from the sun. That interests me.
Yeah.
Does that mean that everybody that is of lighter complexion all came from the North and South Pole and we're living in 3 months of complete darkness and stuff like that?
Who knows? And
I don't know.
And we also have to factor in, like, if we're inherently from here, why do people have allergies to things? Are these just genetic defects, or is it from our ancient lineage?
Well, I think that probably depending on what tribes, if we followed our family lineage back far enough, we could figure out what parts and what continents of the world they come from, and they may not have been exposed to, cats and didn't develop an immunity towards dander or whatever and stuff like that. Flowers, it goes with anything. But, like, even with, I was talking to this with a guy at work, and he was telling me that with food, like the Africans, you look at their diet over there, and their lifestyle compared to, like, here in North America, and they have a higher rate. African Americans have a higher rate of heart disease, diabetes, all these different side effects from foods, and environment than, on a noticeable percentage,
because of
to
the
where
diet
it's been
change.
studied and it's talked about. It's out there.
Yeah,
Their diets changed so dramatically.
Their bodies were adapted to a certain diet, and then when you introduce all these foreign foods, that's where you get the negative results, or maybe same thing why we have allergies, because wherever your ancient DNA was on a different part of the globe where it wasn't introduced to,
you build up no immunity,
dandelion or ragweed or what have you. So, exactly. So,
and that's where, like, them, and just in the short term here, the Africans have been brought over here just the last couple hundred years. You know what I mean? The Caucasians aren't indigenous to this land by any means either, but our culture, they were so, over in Europe, they were, quote unquote, living in a more modern, quote unquote, whatever that means to you, living on top of each other, handling each other's food, swapping each other's spit, all drinking from the same well, whatever it may be. They all intermingled so much that there was so much disease. And I mean, they had wars, they had city warfare, siege warfare, where their castles where dead bodies are laying around for days and are giving each other disease that way. And so when they came over here, whenever that may have been, but just in, modern history where they give us the story of Columbus and stuff, coming over here, I mean, dude, they killed half the Indians off just by disease alone.
Yeah, like smallpox was used as a, for biological warfare.
Oh yeah, the first biological warfare, wrapping the blankets up in the smallpox and getting it all over it, and then giving it to the Indians as a gift.
And
very
did
nice.
I see a resurgence of that? Possibly the smallpox. What was it that I saw?
Well, I know polio. There have been some big outbursts of that.
And is that true that I'm very good for interrupting people, so if you hear us doing that, like, Mike excuses me, I am an asshole like that, kind of, on and off the show, but not meant to be. It's like ADD and with conversation almost.
Oh, he is. He's the biggest a-hole ever seen.
And then I forgot that thought. Because I realized what I did, and then I
so you
forgot my
interrupted
thought.
yourself.
That's how bad I am.
Oh, man. You pulled a Freeman.
Like, that's like a triple dog bad.
You pulled a
If
Freeman.
it was a dare, it would be triple dog.
Oh. Freeman, he loses his train of thought sometimes. And that's what he's kind of like. I heard him in an interview, and they were kind of making fun of him for it, and he was laughing and rolling with it. He's like, I know. It's kind of...
He just smoked some good shit before.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what he did, but it's kind of like his persona, and to me, it's enduring. You know what I mean? Because I love the guy so much,
enduring?
dude. Yeah.
And I ran across something that's awesome lately. It's on Red Ice Creations website.
Red Ice Creations.
Yeah. One of Mike and I's favorite, Henrik Palmgren.
The best interviewer
Sweden.
there is out there.
Yeah, basically, yes. And English isn't even his native language.
No.
But it's the moon, an unexplained phenomenon. And I've always been super interested in the whole thing with the moon.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't have my mind made up on it, but there's so much out there as far as different theories on what the moon is. And they say it's easier to explain why it shouldn't be there than why it is there. Basically, is status quo for anybody who doesn't have money to be made off hiding what it really is.
It is interesting. I mean, why is there a dark side of the moon? Why is the certain face and it doesn't move? It's lockstepped.
Yeah.
Into an orbit around us where it does not move. It does not rotate.
And the minerals that are found on it, like titanium, and there's a couple other
what about when they shot that missile at it and it rang like a bell, dude?
Yeah, and have you heard the debunking on that? They say that was just like made up, I think is what the opposition to that is. But yeah, this one guy's on this, basically this is a compilation that Henrik put here of different quotes from different people from different aspects or different...
David Icke, he gets into the moon
Matrix,
also, yeah.
Exactly. But it's basically just a compilation of different, we got like Erwin Shapiro and Christopher Nightingale and Butler, those couple chaps that wrote Who Built the Moon. But there's some really interesting one. The guy basically says that it's like a giant hydraulic dampers when
for the ocean tides and stuff.
No,
like
when they hit
effect?
it with that, it was like a 2 megaton. It would have been like a 2 megaton bomb or something.
Oh yeah,
when they went into the moon that you just mentioned. Yeah, the characteristics were like it had hydraulic dampers in it.
Oh gosh.
And the minerals that were found on it's like titanium and a couple other exotic minerals that are in a form in the soil which it would have been hot enough at some point to melt titanium, and Earth doesn't even get that hot.
So it's like the perfect shield.
Impenetrable. And also that the biggest one that stood out to me is someone says that I'll see if I can find it, but that basically that the moon is like it's inside out, like it's interior, because you got like the heavy metal like titanium, and other exotic heavy metals that should be more towards the core are on the outside. So what if it was how that could go along with the hollow theory? That basically it's been made into it's an artificial satellite.
Yeah, it's a Death Star.
And, yeah, exactly. The Death Star is the perfect, and there's a whole thing we go with that too, with the moon being the Death Star.
It's there. It's the
a
Death
representation
Star. It's just for its
by
time
media
to come be turned on.
Yeah. So, but if it was dug out and it was the inside was put on the outside as to camouflage it and make it look like a planetary body, but now you have the room to make it an artificial satellite from the inside. On the inside, rather it be. It's out there. I don't know. I'm just.
No, I've listened to YouTube videos. I've read some of that stuff. I am intrigued by that whole theory because I look at it. I just try to look at things with common sense. From my own perspective, and it doesn't rotate. The same face of it faces the Earth in the same way day in and day out. It does move around in the hemisphere because the Earth moves basically.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It stays in its same.
It doesn't
spot,
have a spin. It doesn't spin on an. It doesn't spin on an axis like.
No, it doesn't.
Or like every
it's like
other
locked in, man.
Does. Exactly, and
it's way too big, like on a comparative level to all the other planets in our solar system. But that's such a small See, when they
it's
try
way
to
bigger
compare,
than it should be apparently
yes,
too. It's like
that's what I'm saying. But when they try to compare like the moons of Jupiter and Saturn and the size and all
the size ratio to us versus one of the other planets, the
yeah, I
outer
mean, but
planets.
these are planets in our solar system, and I believe that they all have a purpose too. It's like this. It's a soup, man. There's different ingredients that are put into these solar systems. From a gravitational, magnetic
field
type of deal to where it like locks everything in perfectly.
It's like
I'm saying where it
it's
creates
complicated,
a perfect balance.
like if you were to have a glimpse inside of a watch, you know, you see those open back watches.
There you go.
See all the gears going around and different things moving this way and that way, pendulums and it's there's a lot to wrap your head around when.
Well, and that theory has some weight when you start, there's people talk about Jupiter, how its main objective in the solar system with its gravitational pull is to suck objects into it.
So, yeah, to avoid...
Oh, here comes a comet that just so happens has a chance to hit Earth.
Yep.
And I've heard people talk about and break down the effect that Jupiter actually protects the Earth. It's made outside objects...
They never get a chance to come in towards Earth.
That's right.
Where the Goldilocks zone planets can form.
Yeah, but when it's on trajectory where it has a mathematical opportunity or chance to crash into us, that thing, Jupiter, sucks it in.
Yeah, I've also ran across that.
It eliminates the risk.
It's very interesting. And
I haven't that theory's out there. That's just a theory. You know what I mean?
And back to the moon ringing like a bell. It doesn't give the name of the NASA scientist, but it does say that was quoted from NASA scientists that the Apollo 12 mission to the moon in November of '69 set up seismometers and then intentionally crashed a lunar module, causing an impact equivalent to 1 ton of TNT. The shockwave built for 8 minutes, and NASA scientists said the moon rang like a bell.
And then when they launched the missile at the moon, I can't remember the name of that project. That was just done in the last 8 years. When they launched they actually hit the moon with the missile. Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, when they did that, they used the exact same quote and said that it rang like a bell, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So
it obviously isn't solid.
Things only ring when they're hollow.
Exactly.
My question is, was there a bunch of freaking aliens in there that they were like,
stop here's
that
about the
racket.
Titanium. Read one more. Dr. S. Ross Taylor, a geochemist of lunar chemical analysis, says the problem was with the Maria Plains, which is a section of the moon. It's called the Maria Plains. The size of Texas had to be covered with melted rock containing fluid titanium. He said you would not expect titanium ever to be hot enough to do that, even on Earth. And no one has ever suggested that the moon was hotter than Earth. So what could distribute titanium in this way? Highly advanced technology developed and operated by entities that are immensely more technologically advanced than humans. And see, that's where I wouldn't necessarily concur with that, because there's the hidden history that we don't know about. It's not all human. From a different time in the past.
We are de-evolving.
Yeah, exactly, and that goes along with our much beloved Graham Hancock's theory. Also, he's also suggested that, and not only because I'm a fan of his, I basically feel that way too. But it's because of everything that I take in. Everything just points to it. You have ancient constructions it feels right. You have ancient constructions that there's just so much that we've been lied to about that it's like it like you said, it just feels right. I guess it'd be hard to.
Just sad knowing that our entire everything that's taught to us, the school system, it's all streamlined. The only way a school system would be good and would work, this is just common sense, is if it was on a local level where it was Miss So-and-so down the street, she taught the youngins. Mm-hmm. And Miss So-and-so, she taught the medians. And Miss So-and-so taught the old ones, getting them prepared for manhood or whatever. That would be the only way, because it'd be more individual. But when it's streamlined and it becomes a business, it's a corporation type mentality. It's an assembly line to spit out worker bees. or whatever's.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, sorry, man. Well, it's time to wind this one down. We've got more than an hour and a half time frame going here. We've been, amazingly, our first 2 podcasts, without even knowing it, intentionally both ended at the 124 mark.
Yeah, I know.
You're the one that brought that up. That
yeah.
was so interesting, dude.
Yeah.
It really was.
And maybe we would have ended this one at the 124 and keep trying to push it forward.
It could be. I'm not exactly sure how long we went before we took a break. I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be something, dude?
That'd be funny.
Any parting shots on this Black Friday?
No. I think I'm good, and
good talk. Next time we'll be a little more
enthusiastic.
Yeah. Too much food, dude.
Too much rust.
Time constraints. Your
Rust in the
schedule,
gear.
my schedule. Trying to get here. Taking time away from the family to do this on our day off, full of food from eating turkey and ham and stuffing.
2 days of eating.
But I thought it went pretty good, dude.
Yeah.
Did we teach anybody anything with this one?
Maybe not. Maybe.
Did we get them to think a little bit?
Probably.
Oh.
Even if it's, boy, they're dumbasses.
Hey, that's
They
all
saw
that
to think
matters.
about
Hey, we wake up one. Man, we have done our duty.